Okay, it's Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. It's about 4:05, and we're going to start the Town of Sangerville Board of Selectmen meeting, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On to item 2, approval of the minutes, Select Board meeting 2/16/22 and 2/18/22.
I'll make a motion to approve both minutes.
Second. All in favor? All three are in favor. Item 3, review of treasurer's warrants, payroll 15, 17, 20. Accounts payable 16, 18, and 19.
Make a motion to approve A and B is read.
Second,
All in favor? All three in favor? Open session? Nobody today. Old business? Town warrant.
And you've got a copy there.
Yeah, and I had printed I assumed the same one you
Yeah,
sent.
it is.
Because I had made a few little cheat notes on mine, so. Do you have one, Brian?
No.
Would you like? I got an extra.
He has an extra now.
Just want to start at the top? Yep. Greetings. I guess you had highlighted March.
I highlighted it as to what date. it's
That's what
gonna
I
be.
assumed.
Yeah,
And we haven't really landed on it. The 10th seems like it's out of the question.
it is out of the question, yeah.
So what's the nearest date that's in the window? Assuming we got this done tonight,
Assuming we get it done tonight, we probably can get the 17th,
okay?
but definitely the 24th. And
Are you saying that just to stay with a Thursday? Or why are you,
well, yeah.
you know what I mean, you're going.
Well, because the community room up to Grace Bible is available on Thursdays, it's not on Wednesdays.
Okay,
So that's.
that's a good reason.
Yes, and
Tuesdays would work though, maybe, or,
it might, yeah, and I do know that,
Probably some Saturdays would work.
yeah.
yeah, but then then the meetings end up with
The
wall
only one that wouldn't work is the 24th.
on Saturdays, you know, because
I like the evening meetings, they flow way better.
people wanna get home.
but I don't have a problem with a day of the week other than Thursday.
Right,
No, I'm
right,
fine
right,
with
right, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I guess
Whenever.
Friday's probably the least optimal, I don't know why, I think people Friday night. But
Don't
it's-
wanna go to a meeting, I don't
Yeah,
think.
but it's one meeting a year.
Yeah, either way.
But I guess my feeling is as early as possible.
Yeah, if we can get this
I'll
done
go ready.
tonight, yeah, we should be able to do 17th, 18th.
And Davis is, Mr. Davis, Paul is available. Oh, okay. Okay, cause that would be the other.
Yeah, the question around printing, is that, where do we stand on that?
The printing will take almost 2 weeks and you have to have them back within 3 days before the meeting.
But you don't have to have them all back.
No,
So,
no.
for example, if we had a date that we liked, and you ran off 25 copies right here in the office, we would be compliant with the law.
We would be,
And you
absolutely.
could put it
We
on
could
the
We
website.
could put it on the website, absolutely.
And then maybe the day of the meeting, hopefully, we have these fancy copies.
I don't understand why it takes so long to print these books.
Did you check with any of those others?
I did check with the one in Waterville.
Uh-huh.
They gave me a price, they didn't tell me as to how long it would take though. So
Well, it's
I
kind
can
of
email
the
them,
key,
but yeah.
Okay. And I think Staples, they have a big machine
Yeah,
there.
I just know Bromar knows our book, and if anyone could get it done earlier, it would be them as far, because they know how we've done it in the past.
Well, I mean, if they had
Yeah.
already told you it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I just confused, cause, I mean, with everything in the computer, and you send it to them on a PDF, and it's like, boom, it shouldn't be a.
It doesn't seem to work that well.
No, that's what I'm saying, it doesn't, I mean,
But we've
it's not
actually
like
got
the old
everything
school.
ready, so
Yeah,
it can be
it's
sent
not
tomorrow morning.
Bad, I mean, they send you back a proof, and you approve it, which generally you just
Yeah,
approve it. But I think it probably has to do with how many towns are having town meetings
Meetings.
this time of year and how busy.
But I guess I would wonder, if, like, the machine at Staples is a big machine. Do you think that's running 12 hours a day, every day?
no, a lot of times you walk down Staples with PDF, put it in and hit print.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Rattle.
just shocked that they couldn't do it for 2 weeks. I mean,
Well,
I can
that's what I
understand a
mean.
small.
It's not like before where somebody, you sent them something, you know what I mean, and somebody had to
Yeah,
type all this
it's-
in
all
and
this
But
had
like
it
you said, even if we
created
get
and.
it the day of, 2 weeks, the day of, we can still have, we can print off books for people that want them.
Correct,
Right.
we'd be compliant.
Yep.
We could, yeah, that I'm sure we could do. All right,
Oh, just because I'm curious, because I want to know if was confused, but somebody, when we got that new printer, said that we could print them off right here. Have we ever tried that? Is that even possible?
It's possible, except I would think for the cover, but the minute you start using color,
Color charges,
it's
that's a
going
little,
to
it's a
hit
big.
your account.
but to the degree of having someone outside print it? And I thought it was more of a capacity issue, we just would be so slow, but,
Well, it is.
I mean, compared
It is.
to, yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I'm sure
slow.
Staples is gonna rip off. What do we do? Did we decide on 200?
I think 200,
I wouldn't,
yeah, they've done 300 and we've done 250 and we have a lot of books left. I think 200 is plenty because it will be online. People can have it online if they want it.
Sure.
And honestly, for me, I have one at the town meeting.
Right, but you don't necessarily need to.
If I had this,
Right.
I would be just as
Have
happy,
the
because
same.
I don't really,
you don't sit there and read it at town meeting.
No.
Although I
No,
do always
this-
keep one.
I always keep mine too, since I
Yeah.
started doing this, but.
Right.
it's-
Right.
But I would think we could do the 17th. And
Just how many pages this thing is? 65, 70 pages?
And it's still about that same amount right now.
Okay,
I mean, you could cut stuff out of it, I mean.
Right.
You
You only need color on the cover, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You only
but
need
on the
certain, I
yeah.
mean, we put in a ton
Whole
of
book
stuff
ain't
that you don't.
color.
No,
have
and
to
we've,
have.
we have cut out some stuff.
I think for that matter, you could just have the hardcover printed, and everything else you can do in-house.
Right, but if you're only gonna color print one page,
Yeah, you can color
Yeah.
print the front and the
then you're
inside of
gonna,
the
you could
front.
rattle all your covers.
Be very interesting to find out, if you printed one here,
You'd know.
front to back, done, how much would that take, how much did it cost? Because, you know what, if we can get away with 120 and we do them in-house, I don't have a problem with that, I mean.
Oh, you know what, if we can get a nice cover, paper.
Yeah, that's, just order one ream of
Just glossy paper.
glossy paper. That
I'll
way,
show you what. how we
And
print it
does the
out.
printer can print like that? Yeah, right? It
can.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just getting it
That
all
was-
You
set
can,
up.
yeah.
When Mr. Penio
Yes.
suggested, that
yes.
was one of the
That's.
big
that was-
advantages.
That was the
that was
cost
the-
savings.
That was
Yeah, that
the
was the
sale.
pitch.
That was the pitch.
You'd never
We're gonna
have
be able to print
to,
in-house from
Yeah.
now.
never have to hire another
Yeah,
town report printer.
yeah.
Well, he was wrong.
Well,
No, we haven't proven this yet.
Well, because we replaced the one he,
Oh, is that right? Is that right? We've replaced the one that he did.
it's a
If-
rental, so you don't.
Right, you don't really ever.
we burned it up though, we ate it up.
We,
No, we didn't eat it up, it just went so slow
Oh.
that
Oh.
everybody was pulling their hair out waiting
Okay.
for their stuff to bring.
but like that,
Really?
Really.
if I was gonna, if I was gonna rattle 120 copies of that, I'd do it at 5 minutes to 5, and hit the button and walk out the door, and it'd
Right.
be done when I come in tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
If it jammed through the night, it would just sit there. I mean,
Right,
Oh, yeah,
you wouldn't have to tie yourself up.
watch it.
Well, that would be interesting, like I said, if it's an
Yeah.
hour to do one book, okay.
yeah, then
This
it's
was
not
kind of
worth
what
it.
we did for ourselves, just to
Oh,
put it
okay.
together to.
You didn't just copy that.
No.
This is, but, to me, this is fine.
It's, I wouldn't complain about that.
I don't believe anybody. So the stapling, is that a or do you put it
That's a
in?
manual stapler that we have, a heavy duty stapler
Okay.
that we bought.
So I mean, you just did this with regular paper.
Right, you
Yeah.
didn't even do it with this,
No, I mean,
with the
if we
big
could find-
sheets.
yeah.
But then you gotta, that's a little bit more coordination.
Well, the only
because
thing about
That
that
has
is,
to be printed on that sheet.
oh, I can do
You know
that,
what
and
I'm
you can do that easily.
Well, I know,
You set the
I know.
printer-
Honestly, the bigger problem with that is if you've got the
See,
stapler, to
is it-
staple it and fold it. That's the issue.
Folding it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big-
But that's not,
May I see that, please?
if you bought a ream of the heavy glossy paper, so you had a cover,
That'd be really fancy. I
yeah.
don't even have a problem with that.
No, I know that, but I mean, like your dedication picture wouldn't be bad if that was color you cover.
Yeah.
You're not really, there's not a whole lot of money there.
It's fine, I mean, whatever it takes to get it done, right?
Yeah, I just don't see
Well,
anything wrong
what do
with
we
that
spend
product.
when we do 300 books, 250 books? What is it?
$700, $750.
$700 or $800.
I could live with that all day long for 700 bucks. That's
So like
me.
$2 a piece. More than that, $2.50 a piece. Yeah, I got a feeling we can print it for that.
It would be the color, and we would just need, yeah. We'd
Well,
have
if
to
you
figure
only need
out.
120 pages of color.
That ain't
I mean,
much
because,
color.
I mean, this one, we had,
Right.
we had 2 pages of
The
color.
only
yeah.
color
The next one,
really
we only
is
have
gonna
one.
be.
And if you had a project that you
Right.
really wanted color, so
Oh,
you
and
add
that-
another page of
and
color in
this
the middle,
page,
it's not
right,
gonna,
right,
you know,
right.
it's gonna collate.
Right, but that's,
That's
so
one-
you could put that all,
Color and color,
Yeah,
that's it.
but
And
you
that's
do
what
that all on your
that counts
hardcover,
as
it's one page,
That's
it's one page.
That's one
Right.
page.
Right, yes, that's right.
That's not bad.
But I mean, I could get the paper that is this and make the book.
Yeah, but then you gotta fold
Folding.
Oh, yeah,
them,
that's true.
Yeah,
then you gotta
they've got a
staple in
machine
the
that-
center.
Yeah.
and-
And where, if you're happy with something like that, but you could take the outside, if you got paper this big, and fold it just the outside piece,
Put it around.
to put it around and then bind it together.
Yeah, you could do
That,
that.
You
and
could do
it'd be
it that way.
Yeah, you can do that, it'll look
Yeah.
a
have a
little,
little more finish to it,
yeah.
yeah.
And that way you,
But then, well, but
Same
then you'd
way,
have to
fold-
staple
Yeah,
through it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
More than
staple
you
through
have
it the
to
same
staple.
oh,
way.
yeah, you still have to staple through it
And then
this
it wouldn't
way.
open very well.
No, true.
With
Well, it's
the-
gonna
with the
open
hard
the
back.
same as what you got.
Yeah.
No, but she's talking about a whole full sheet.
Yeah, how are you gonna, if you
Yes.
have half sheets, how are you gonna staple to it?
You'd
Same
have
way
to-
she did.
Why couldn't I copy a book like this?
Oh, you're gonna get half sheets of glossy paper.
Oh my God.
Why couldn't
I wouldn't do that.
No,
I
alright,
just-
I'll just do
Well, if your
that.
staples are in the same spot, it's gonna open the same way that.
No,
the
but
one-
if you put a full sheet around and then put staples
Yeah.
here, it's not gonna open
it's not
very
gonna-
well.
It's
No,
not gonna work right.
But I can
It's gonna
buy,
open on
Yeah.
the staple.
yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I
I
suppose.
mean, I don't, yeah.
I don't think it's gonna matter.
No.
Yeah, the
Alright,
staple
well,
is what's stopping that, I mean, you
Are
know,
we taping this?
yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't realize we were spent so much on this, and now
Yeah.
it's cumbersome in terms of trying to get the meeting done.
Yes, I mean,
So-
if that's the stumbling block.
I would have not been surprised if you told me Staples would do this for $200. I had no idea what it cost, so.
No. I mean, I still could check to see if we can get it printed if you want, and still, if they can
Well,
meet that deadline.
Yeah, it would all depend on, the deadline and the cost.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Honestly, the deadline's important, but $700 for most of the people are gonna look at them this one time
And toss it.
and either toss it or they're gonna take it home and it's gonna set because I always say that.
Some people keep them, I get that, but they can keep that.
Yeah, that with a glossy, heavy paper on both sides, I don't see anything wrong with that. But that's,
I bet it's better than a lot of towns do.
I just see it as another nice cost savings.
Well, we can do it.
Just depends on, like I said, if Staples does it for $200,
I have a
then it's not worth
correction
taking your
here.
time. But at 800, it might be worth taking the time.
It's just, I've had the wrong amount of years, 97 years.
Oh, okay.
That's nothing. Is that where we want me to write it on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can print it,
You'll
I can fix
fix
it and
it.
print it off so you guys can sign it.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Okay.
Alright, so we back to going through this?
Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
Article 1 is straightforward, silence, same, pledge of allegiance. Article 2, moderator's manual, always do that. 3, non-residents. Now we're getting, yes,
Selectmen,
4, sanitary ideas.
board.
I had one, the Article 5, I guess is the first. max allowed is 4%, I thought we had done more than 4, did they move that?
They move it
Changed it, yeah.
They move it every year, so they went backwards.
Yeah.
They did.
Alright, that was just the only question I
Can I
had.
ask a question about Article 4? I didn't think of it when we
Yep.
were looking at it. Do we have 2 school board members with 3-year terms up?
Yep.
Yeah, we only have 2 people on the board.
I know we only have 2, but I didn't know if they were both 3 years at this point, because we
Yep.
keep losing people.
I think so.
Okay, I just verifying.
Okay.
6,
Um,
oh, I'm, so far, I'm at 8, I don't have any questions, does any, that's kinda what I'm doing.
Yep.
9, the numbers, I remember, well, I thought the, public works overage was in the 40,000.
It was, however, we could take out the total, public works column, we still had money in there, so that offset.
Oh, okay,
It's offsetting that.
okay,
Oh, so I see what you're saying.
See, when
I didn't realize we had some money left, so,
We
Still
did.
money left in the bucket.
okay.
we did.
So our overage was
Oh.
less,
Oh.
that makes sense, okay. All right. I'm just gonna 10, 11, I read all these at home, and I marked where I had questions. 13,
So back to 9 really quick, not to
yep,
beat this up. Should we kind of clarify so that they understand that they're voting on the 33? We got less contingency. I don't wanna get there and people just, oh, we're not gonna do that. Well, you already did. That's what we have it for. That's all. Cause really, that's what,
When you do contingency, I think it says in that article.
you know what I'm trying to, I don't know how to
yeah, maybe,
verbiage
see
it.
where it says total?
Yeah, that's
Maybe
what-
that should say total overdraft.
Yeah. Or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh, okay,
You know what I mean? A way so everybody knows.
And then
that's-
maybe put
that
that
is
in
the
a
number.
box.
so total
The-
overdraft, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know the verbiage or whatever, but something.
Yeah, and then put a box around the 33, or in bold, that's the
Yeah.
number we're voting on.
That would be,
Bold,
yeah,
yeah.
alright.
That
I'll
might be
bold
better.
it. Okay.
And it is different wording because it will ratify, so it's not like, I mean, is that the right, that's what you use for overdrafts?
I also, I think, where you say less contingency, I put a minus on that column of
On the
numbers.
10, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
yeah, get rid of the less, just be contingency with a negative.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't mind the less, but I would definitely put a minus
Minus.
next to that 10,000.
Okay.
Yep, yep,
That's, then their eyes close, and okay, there's what we owe.
yep, yep.
That would make the difference too. Okay, sorry.
I didn't have anything else until we got to 20, so I'm waiting on you.
$18, I would add budget committee to recommends.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
we
okay,
did
and-
talk about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
19, I would add fire chief at minimum, or fire,
Okay, and fire chief, I'll put fire
Yep.
chief, cause he was here for that
Yep.
meeting, yeah. Okay,
On 20, we've kind of, independently, we've kind of talked about this, and this would also apply to the cemetery. I'm thinking, forget this on this article.
Scratch it.
Just scratch it. Our long-term approach might be something, a totally different approach where, because the attorney's saying, well, maybe you go to a court, if it's only
Right.
$4,100, we're not gonna spend much money, and
Right.
we spend all the money. And these are monies, this and the cemetery, they're buckets of money that, we can't spend, or at least we can't find out a way to spend them. But we all seem to believe that we could spend whatever earnings or gain that we had from these funds. But we don't have any because they're not invested. These are funds that would be, great to be targeted towards actual investments. We could take this money and put it in the stock market, for example. Because we don't have any demand on it. if the market went down 2 years in a row, it really wouldn't matter. And if and it took a tear for 10 years, we could have some serious money from these funds to do something with. So the question would be, do we have the authority to invest it that way? And if we do have that authority, do we wanna do it, or, you know, and all that? But have a discussion around that.
Right.
And I mentioned, Jody and I had talked about it, the hospital had huge cache of funds because their bylaws let them invest, when they were a municipal hospital, in the stock market. They ended up with millions of dollars in excess because the market just went really well. You wouldn't normally do this with taxpayer funds because you need to utilize them. You couldn't take the chance that they would fluctuate that much. But these funds, we can't use them.
Well, I read it a little differently. I don't think there are actual trusts set up for these funds.
Well, the attorney says you might be right, you might be wrong, but you're gonna spend money figuring it out.
Either way, what we really need is the original, the documentation to prove it one way or another from when they were accepted.
Right.
Well, you have the documentation for when the 800 and some odd dollars for the ministerial
When
one
it
was
In 74, right?
in 74. And it says in trust.
So,
But it does not say that they actually took $800 and went out and
Put
had
it
a
in a
lawyer,
trust.
had a lawyer draw up a trust. I highly doubt it. We can't find anything in the
Well,
safe,
if the
any
conditions
paperwork.
of accepting the funds were that the town create a trust with these stipulations,
that's all it takes.
that's really all it takes. You couldn't,
Could be, I mean,
you entered into a legal agreement with a donor to create a trust.
yeah.
Now, if we didn't follow through on our part, that probably isn't good.
So you said $800.
800 and some odd, yeah.
So that says 4155. How did that grow?
I have no idea.
It's money
The
money.
only way it grows is if it was invested.
Or if
It's
there were more
interest.
contributions.
I can't find any contributions anywhere in the last, well, you have all the way back to Key Bank.
Right.
So that really, that number is $800.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
800 and some odd.
that was the
you can
beginning
spend-
number.
you
We
can
don't
spend
know-
the rest of it.
Could we spend the rest of it?
Well, we
No,
gotta
but
prove
what-
that it was growth.
But
Well,
yeah,
unless it was in a separate account, how do we know that that 800 accrued up to 400?
I believe, if you
4,000.
go back, Camden, there's always the school,
Oh, so it
and in
is
Key
separate.
Bank, there's
It is.
separate school.
And in Camden, the ministerial and the cemetery are separate
Separate.
accounts.
They are.
At
Yeah,
Camden National, yes.
but if it was, then that means you can spend 4155 minus
Yeah.
800. You can spend every bit of that.
Right, right. But is it set up that the proceeds from that $800 can be spent?
Towards the school.
Then
Well,
I don't think we ought to do anything until we know all these details.
well, I would say, I've been maintained very long that is, who's gonna if we say, okay, great, let's spend 3,000,
yeah, whatever.
yeah,
minus
3,200,
800.
okay. And they approve it, and we spend it, I mean, who's
No,
gonna
I
question?
really like the idea you have, and we ought to take that money in the cemetery and just invest it and be done with it. But if that number really ought to be 800, then let's make that 800.
That's what you invest.
Right.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
take
no.
that rest
Yes.
of that as
Then it
interest
defrays the cost.
that we
Defray
can
the
get
cost.
rid of.
And
Right,
if the
right.
cemetery, if we could establish a basis on the cemetery money, do exactly the same thing.
100%.
I think the cemetery money, legally, and we just voted to put it back to just the 30%, but if it's not in trust, if you've just been putting your cemetery money in there,
That's not the
Then-
same thing.
it's not the same thing, and all of that is available to you to use on the cemeteries. It has to be used on the cemeteries, that's not in question.
Right, and I think the attorney thought that it was in trust,
Yeah.
Right.
and I don't believe it is
I
in
don't
trust.
believe it is, but can I prove that? I mean, I went through the cemeteries and could tell you what, in the last, I don't know, 15 years, what the interest
But-
was.
But that's the point with this conversation. That's what we've all been told. That's why we did what we did and we've gone to 30% and just to try to slow that down. But if we could go actually prove that one out, I would be in favor.
Well, if you can spend the money, it's fine.
100%.
But if you can't spend it, you might as well figure out a way to grow it
Right.
and use the proceeds. But I wondered the same thing that Bridie's wondering is, The language, the question that was given to the attorney, he concluded that they both were trusts. If this is not a trust, what would his answer have been? Those are just funds, the town, I would think that legislative body could vote to use them.
They're just dedicated funds. You
Right.
have to use one for education and one for cemeteries.
Correct.
And
Now, I understand that a trust is a separate entity, and if the
Right,
trust has
right.
rules, doesn't matter what the voters want, they gotta follow the rules of the
Trust
trust.
rules, right.
And that's, I think, I mean, he was going so far as
And
to say you
I
might
mean,
have
I
to
did
give it
check
away.
with, I did check with the bank yesterday, and it's money market, they're both a money
Mm-hmm.
market account.
Yeah, but since 1975, I
Yeah.
can see where $800 could turn into $4,000.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, there was a period when money markets were paying 7 or 8%.
yeah, no, yeah,
So-
we know that.
Yeah,
So that, that's 2 generations.
right?
So I get that. If we could just establish that, we can use that money anytime.
Yep.
I guess it's not enough money to panic over, but I mean, as
No, I
As far
saw
as
an
this
email
warrant
about the
goes.
school budget's gonna, right now, they're talking about going up 47,000 from last year.
are they really?
Yeah,
Overall?
that's what I saw in an email.
And
Was
what
it
did,
68 just said no increase this year? I just
what
see
did
it.
the, our percentage of that?
It didn't say yet, it hasn't said.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Total budget.
Total
Oh,
budget,
okay.
47,000.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
well, that's
But, forget about, it doesn't matter what they're, if they come in the same, depending on how we are this year, we still could have an increase.
We could,
Yeah.
because of
Because of the county.
county and the.
How the
valuation.
assessment-
Well, the county was over 20 grand, and when you said, I thought we were gonna be another 40 on top of that, I was, oh boy, here we go.
No, total.
Well, we may be,
Total 47.
we don't know where we're gonna fall. on
We don't know what
valuation.
Sangerville falls in the scheme of,
Yeah, but we're not gonna be,
Yeah, won't be
we're not
all
gonna
of
be
it.
half of the 44.
no.
okay, so what are we going?
Remember the one
what-
year Parkman, we didn't get an increase, but with everything they did up there with the windmills, they got a
They
huge.
got hit.
And they still have that.
Yeah, no, I know.
So you gonna remove Article 20?
So we're gonna remove it
I would
for now?
remove,
Okay.
yeah,
For now.
and everything, yeah, I would say for this meeting.
Okay.
Okay, well, you guys both had a little clinic on this
Right.
today.
Right.
Does this need to be addressed?
Not to accept the money, they said you do not have to have any,
accept. Right.
right.
Okay, so this
Now-
can be struck.
Well, but did you get this out of what they supplied?
Well, this is before
Okay,
this was through emails that I've seen.
I see.
And so this was before we
Right,
sat through
right.
that class today. However, once we do decide where it's gonna, it does have to go in front of the legislative
Right.
body.
Yeah, spend it.
To
Right.
spend it.
Right,
yes.
but for this April phase, we
No,
don't
it-
involve.
not
it.
to accept it.
We don't have
No,
to,
no.
right, no,
Okay.
we don't have to.
Right, but don't we have to have it appropriated by the April phase?
No, we don't.
No, no.
Oh, okay, 'cause that's
No,
what
I
we
can
were
go
told
in and-
before.
That was the big news.
Yeah, we can go
Yeah.
in and put no project right
Yeah,
now.
just report, you do
No
have to
report,
report.
yeah, we report that we,
No project.
We just have to
No
let them know
project.
that we wanna
No,
play.
that's fine.
we
That's
wanna
okay.
We're
play,
in.
but we haven't
No,
decided how
but
we're
before the
gonna spend it.
meeting, that was the deal. You
Yeah,
had to
you
say
spend-
what you was gonna spend
No,
it on.
no, no,
Okay,
no,
that's even better.
yep.
So
So
we'll
that's,
strike Article 21.
yeah.
Okay, 22. Nothing there, really?
No,
The only thing there that I had was, right at the very bottom, total of the 580, the remainder will be raised through property taxes. Really shouldn't say that.
No, that
because
isn't exactly,
That's not really
it
true,
isn't necessarily true.
not necessarily,
Right.
100%.
no, that's
Yep.
how it's always gone in the town.
No,
Is that
I-
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we just,
Well, the remainder will be raised either through property taxes or use of general funds.
correct. That's
so we can
really-
put, I can put both, words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's,
yeah.
raise the,
That's-
or,
because those are really the only two sources, right?
But then what is the question asking? The question saying that.
Do you wanna spend that amount of money?
Are you gonna appropriate the 580,000 towards the budget?
But why does it say the remainder then? So the total is this, correct?
You don't really need it to say any of that.
Well, no, I'm not, that's what, I'm just saying. So it says that, see if the sum of money will vote to spend this amount of money, correct?
correct.
But then what is the remainder of what? I
Whatever the
mean-
budget is.
Oh,
The rest of it.
the rest of your budget.
Oh, okay,
We're covering the first 580,000
I see.
with your revenues.
Yeah, basically, you got a revenue silo.
Right.
You've got a taxes to be raised silo.
Yeah.
And you have a general fund that you could pull from.
Yeah.
So that's what we know we're getting from revenue. The rest is gonna come from those other two silos.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
The
but
remainder.
you're supposed to be accounting for what you wanna use for your contingency in that article.
Well, none of the 580 is gonna be from, the 580 is revenue.
No, undesignated contingency amount.
Yeah,
15,000.
and that's
That's
only.
not revenue.
No,
That's-
No,
that's contingent.
no, that's contingency.
That's your contingency. We didn't
Sure.
put any, generally, you've put 50 to 70,000 more from undesignated in that line.
Oh, really?
So, and I did that.
Oh, so that's where you would represent that silo. If you wanted to do
You-
150,000 in road paving, you put it in there, is that what you said?
Well,
No,
no, I wouldn't put it in there because it hasn't
No.
been approved yet. This is just for regular, in your actual regular budget.
Of money that you know is coming in.
Yeah, should that even be with all these revenue items?
The
Does it-
contingency?
Does it need to be?
Everything
Well,
there is
it-
revenue
revenue.
except for that expenditure that we threw in.
That adds up to my revenue budget. That
Oh.
you put in the
being
book.
contingency's not even revenue.
No, your contingency is not revenue because it very
No.
clearly states it comes from undesignated.
Correct.
So that shouldn't be part of this.
You can remove it,
I think
which
that
is what I
needs
was
to go
trying to do.
somewhere else.
when I
Well,
was
but yeah,
moving
because
that.
you do, it is somewhere else, you have to approve that we're gonna do that.
Yes.
Yeah, cause you're approving the 15 on the other line.
Correct.
And so
You
we
can
can
remove
we can take this right off.
Yeah,
So
just
back
make-
to what you were
Just make sure
saying.
you do it in all the right places.
So what is the undesignated that you was talking about, Brady, cause I'm brain dead.
Yeah, what makes up the undesignated now? But on that set,
When you guys refer to, for fund balance, that's generally you're referring to undesignated fund balance. Meaning it's not designated for animal control, or it's not leftover funds that you raised for education and didn't spend, or it's not in any of these, it's not in a reserve, it's undesignated,
Yeah, it's our savings.
yeah.
And we can use it to pave roads, or as long as the town approves it,
As long as the town approves it,
you can use it for almost anything. Which we have done every year for the last few years, the summertime, we pull
Right.
from that and usually pave roads with it.
But you're saying we usually put more than the 15.
I think if you look
Got
at,
one here.
It's a good thing you saved those.
I know, that's why I brought them tonight.
I
The
can tell you
referral.
as town manager, I refer to these.
Yeah, all the
on a
time?
Daily
Yeah.
basis, almost.
Yeah, what did they agree to? Oh, okay, this is what they agreed to.
Well, sometimes the language really matters.
I don't
I
care, you
know.
just gotta tell me.
It was 50,000 that year,
50,000.
and that included the contingency amount, so it was
Did we,
30.
did we display it like this, with all these revenues?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
In the contingency?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really understand why you
Yeah.
haven't done that.
I know, see, that doesn't,
And
my
this
brain
is,
doesn't.
this is
my
why,
brain-
Because
when
it's
we get
not-
to
it
commitment
doesn't make
time,
sense.
It
and
doesn't make
I'm
sense
pulling my
to me.
hair out, because I'm removing
No.
this from here and this from there, and you put,
I'm okay to put it there, but then you scratch the contingency line off the vote, because you already approved it.
Remember that piece where we had the January and the December, and we were putting those two numbers together? They should never even been next to each other. And
I
I got
know.
printed that way.
And see, the way ever since my brain got fried, when I can't figure something out, I'm like, oh, it must be me. It's gotta be me.
No, don't always,
And no,
don't ever do
seriously,
that, cause.
no, but that's why sometimes I'm reluctant to say, that doesn't make sense, cause I'm thinking, yeah, well, it doesn't make sense to you,
Just-
because your brain doesn't work.
Jody.
And just
No,
because
no,
we've done
seriously.
it, just because we've done it that way previously, doesn't mean we did it
No,
right
I don't
before.
think we've been doing it right, so.
No, but the other side of it is, if you leave it there, you don't need it as an article, because you've already voted on it.
Yeah, well, this is why I
But you-
don't, I don't
that's why you-
understand why we put this article in here anyway. You don't know, you're just projecting.
Yeah, this
You
is
don't-
really.
It's clunky.
Yeah, the only thing in there really is everything else, you're just telling them what revenue is. They're not
Yeah.
approving the 245,000.
You're telling them the guess at what we think we're
It's
gonna
a
do.
guess,
Right.
it's a guess.
Right,
And
but it's not,
it's
it
on
shouldn't be an
our-
article.
It's on our proof.
Why should they approve it? I mean,
The only thing they're actually approving is the one piece that we're having trouble with, and that's the undesignated piece.
Right,
That's an actual expenditure.
You need to approve it, because if you didn't approve it, you can't spend it.
The excise, you mean the revenue?
Yeah.
You can't spend it?
Right.
Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. That
And
makes
you're
sense.
just
Right.
telling,
You're saying
Yeah, you
this
have-
is a
yeah.
projected,
This is
projected
revenue that's
projected,
coming in this year.
And we're gonna
I
spend
want
it.
your permission to
spend-
allow
you
us to
have to.
spend it.
You're right.
So it has,
That
you
makes
have to
sense.
vote on it.
That makes sense.
but
But
you
do
could
you
take
ha-
the contingency
You
out.
can take the contingency out because we're gonna vote for that online.
That's,
Or you leave the contingency in and take it out over there.
yes, you don't have it in two places.
No. So why not leave it there?
Here.
This is an article you have to have, and
I
it's been
guess-
in there
But if you
forever.
overdraft, do you need it to be a
Well, yeah, I
little
mean,
bit more
the over-
specific?
Leaving it in here, though, back to the language, the 580, the remainder to be raised through property,
Shouldn't
well,
say that.
it shouldn't say that.
Right.
I would
Is it-
scratch all of that. I would put total of 580,000.
Yeah, okay, that's,
Scratch the rest of it.
the language is what's polluting the thing.
So I'm just gonna list the total.
That column of figures is fine, that's what they're approving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, but back to, hang on a minute, back to what she said. We don't really have anything in undesignated in that line when we've had up to $40,000 in the years past.
well, I'm wondering if that's where the number goes, whether it's 50 or 250, that, maybe it goes right in here. If we're gonna spend $300,000 additional on paving beyond what we're gonna raise in taxes, does it go there? This was what the number Rick wanted. How
What
much
did
are
we
we
use
gonna?
that 40,000 that was there last year? Where did that go?
It goes into the,
General fund,
just,
right?
it's just in the budget, it's
Right, well-
funds that,
Did we spend
When-
it?
yeah, I mean, cause they balance, and so, yeah, you,
So it took the bottom off.
yeah.
So it's doing the same thing. That's where I'm getting it. What you're doing, but that's what we did, the same thing. We just threw 40,000 in there. We did that when we was doing the tax worksheet for the mill rate. Right? Is that when you come up with that?
No,
It's not that number?
it's part of that number,
Okay,
it is part of that number.
alright, that's what I thought.
Alright, in the summertime, when we asked for 150,000 or whatever it was to do paving, if we had asked for that during the original town meeting, where would we have put it?
In an article.
As an article.
Separate,
separate-
we wouldn't have put it in this column.
Okay,
Nope.
okay, okay, okay. Okay.
And is there a reason, okay, so, if we're gonna ask for an amount of money, like 150 or 200,000, is there a reason not to put this in with it?
So really, this number's going towards school, county,
But it also equals this.
Everything,
no, it's not going towards everything. Cause you're
Well-
budgeting,
it just reduces your total budget by 580. With the exception of the undesignated, which is our money, I mean, that's not revenue, but all the rest of these are revenues coming in and we're gonna use them to run the town.
Right.
And whatever we're missing, we're either gonna raise through taxes or pull it
yep, no,
from,
you're right, yep, I'll shut up. I agree.
well, no, but that's how we get through this, is
Yep.
we all toss it around.
But the other thing that's interesting is this is under the title of expense articles. Now, now we're talking about expense articles. This really is revenue that's coming in.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and
The
we're
whole thing's
saying we
clunky.
wanna spend it to run the
Okay,
town.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
okay.
that's
So
okay.
you are
Yeah,
expending
okay,
it, I
got
guess.
it, got it.
It
But I do
just,
get what you were saying too,
But
cause
it
Yeah.
doesn't, yeah,
I just don't know why undesignated in there,
yeah. It
cause that's not
doesn't-
revenue.
And I don't actually have an answer other than it always was
Yeah,
in there.
exactly, yeah.
And so I sat down and figured out what they did and
And then
And
this year I.
okay.
But it's the same deal, you could do
But this year I
what you're
only put
saying,
the
you're just gonna have to
contingency, right,
explain it when we do it.
Right.
Well,
How do you get the
I think all the undesignated funds should be lumped in one bucket. Whatever we decide we're gonna pull, we put it all together. If it's 200, it's 200, it's 220, 220. That's an amount that we're gonna have to ask for. If they say no, we won't be doing any paving, or we won't be doing very much.
Sure, so do you wanna do all that here, or do you wanna do it as a separate article?
I think
That's
you do it
what-
as a separate article.
Then
I
that's
think-
okay, so then scratch undesignated off
I
the
think at
thing.
one point, we used to put this at the end of
Yeah, probably.
the warrant. Cause it makes more sense if you've gone through all these
All
things.
things and then say,
Yeah, that's true, cause you're building your wish list, and at the end, you've got this bucket, we know we have this money.
can we use it?
Yeah,
For
we're gonna
the
let us use
beginning
it.
To
and the end,
defray
doesn't
the
matter.
cost.
Well,
gonna get
you
voted
got,
on.
you got the cart before the horse.
Yeah, I do it on one end or the other.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't really.
But
So
I don't
honestly-
think we should mix the two.
No.
Okay, so what you're
I
saying
don't.
is we should scratch undesignated off from there.
Yep, pull the 15,000 out of the 580.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Well,
The
it's part of
contingency
it.
I
amount?
would leave the contingency
The
there.
contingency is gonna be addressed
Contingency
in,
is undesignated.
Okay,
Yes, it
I
is.
understand, but it doesn't need to say undesignated and contingency. Is what I'm
You
saying.
could remove the and.
And just say,
I would just get rid of undesignated and
Doesn't,
and,
yeah, I don't even, it's just not part of this formula. This formula is all revenue.
right,
and then get rid of the article.
no,
You still wanna spend all this.
I
right,
understand. I'm saying get rid of undesignated
Yes.
in the and,
Yes.
get rid of this verbiage.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
over here,
It's
get
listed
rid
on
of the
24.
article that says approve 15,000 for contingency.
Yeah, and replace it with 300 grand or whatever.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I think that's the smart way to
I would
go.
leave it here, take it out over here.
I agree with you.
That's my suggestion.
So you're gonna, but again, this 580 gets lowered by 15 grand. Because there's
It's not-
15 grand
yeah.
in there,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, I wouldn't add the 15 into that total.
No, that's, because right now it is there, so it needs to come out.
alright.
but, one other thing, are you saying take 23 out as well, this one article, with the whole, the
23.
stuff about 15?
Yes.
But here's the thing, we want a contingency where we don't have to validate, you know what I'm saying?
It's right there.
No, but we're taking it out of there.
No, she's right, I mean, you could take this, it's standalone, and now you're gonna go to your larger.
Right.
From, yes, I see
Either way,
that.
one or the other.
Yeah.
I would leave it here and take it out there.
Okay,
If you
okay,
wanna
I
leave
see-
it
I see what you're
here,
saying, I see.
you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
Yep.
Okay.
I keep
Okay.
23 and take it out of 22.
Yeah.
That's my
You-
opinion.
yeah,
I agree
you
with
gotta
you.
keep it in here.
Because it's,
For me-
it's an expenditure, these are all revenue.
That's
Now,
right.
you're agreeing to
This is
spend the revenue,
revenue.
but,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, that makes sense. to me.
Plus, we increased it this year, and we want that
Yes.
to be right in front of
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Because they wanna knock
Yeah.
it back to 10, they can.
I
Right.
just think if you get rid of an article, you just shave.
Okay,
Few
so
more
I'm
minutes off of me.
I'm getting rid of the contingency.
Well, you just
amount.
spent that
We're
tonight.
gonna leave this Article 23 though, we
Yes.
really do need to leave
Yes,
Article
yes.
23.
Yes, no,
Yes.
we're all in
Yeah.
agreement on
That
that.
makes sense, good.
And we're gonna have 22, we just shortened it a tiny bit.
Yes.
Right, and lowered the dollar value. And we're not gonna, are we gonna say the rest of the money needs to be raised?
No.
Cause that makes it confusing to,
Well, it's not true.
Yeah, it is
so
confusing.
we're just saying total?
I'm just gonna put
580.
total amount, okay?
Total, and
Yeah.
they're gonna let us spend it or not.
Yeah, I do like to do on
Okay.
the other one, draw a line, bold, total.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep, yep.
that's what we'll do.
Yep.
Alright,
Yes,
15, Article 23 looks good.
yes.
I had an ask, why did I say, what's town vote to appropriate general? 24.
Okay.
and if you have your budgets, it shows the breakdown of the
We
budget.
cut.
The only thing
down
about 23, did you
14,000.
wanna add that? Because that's always part of the conversation where we learned that's not, doesn't come out of taxation. You just wanna add that.
Transfer of
verbiage.
undesignated revenues in excess of 15,000 must be authorized.
Yeah.
It talks about the undesignated. Take 15,000 from undesignated
Yeah, it's all right
revenue,
there.
yeah,
Yep.
overdrafts.
Yep,
Yep, that all makes,
Which means that if you don't spend it, it stays in the general
None.
fund and.
correct.
You,
okay, so, that looks good,
So, we're on to 24.
correct. Okay, so general government. So,
In your budget, it should equal that amount.
in the meeting that Warner wasn't here, we cut FICA down to 14,000.
oh yeah,
Prior to that, we moved mileage from public works
Works.
to.
Yeah, to all
admin.
one,
I think
yeah.
those are the two
Those were the only two.
changes.
Yeah.
so where do we find that number? That,
It's on, your budget worksheet should,
oh.
The end of Department
okay,
One.
okay,
Second page.
okay. Total general administration. So that number matches that number. Okay. Okay. So that's straight up taxes, right? Raise and appropriate?
yep,
straight up taxes, taxation, really, right?
Well, yeah.
No, is to raise and to
It's-
appropriate.
yeah,
So
we're-
some of that 580 can be used towards that, some of
Correct.
some of the taxes can be used to
towards
Right.
that.
But you're agreeing to spend the money.
Right, that's the,
Yep.
Got it, okay,
wherever it comes from.
okay,
Yeah, we don't address source on this, we just agree to spend it.
okay.
On to 25, fire department. We could add the chief to that.
Yep.
Okay. I will.
Animal welfare, there's nothing there.
So 26 is different because you vote to appropriate from revenue for the purpose of animal welfare.
And then you'll see on the
I
animal
see.
welfare budget, it's 0, because we get it in through revenue.
Okay.
So it's not taking it from the budget.
Okay. Got it.
Do you wanna mix this stuff in, or do you wanna do, usually we do anything like this at the end,
What's that, where are we?
like 29. I'm fine with it being where it is, that's the question. Usually we run the budget, it's all spend, 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 then you get to the end, do you wanna take this for paving and for out of reserve, or this is out of this, or, but if you wanna leave it intertwined, I'm okay, that's a 100% question.
Because that's capital outlay at the end, usually.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, this almost would be, because if you don't agree to do this, you're agreeing to raise your taxes. You've already agreed to,
No.
we probably should have the plow contract before this. Not that it's matter, we just gotta plow the road, but,
No, what this is saying is, do you wanna use that money to go towards paving? If you don't, you're not gonna do as much paving.
we'll do less paving, you're right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and it isn't really, to me, it isn't about that, to me is, do you put all your budgetary items, and then at the end, after you've done all that, then ask to do this, ask if you're gonna move funds, or you wanna leave them the way they are? That's my thing. But the only thing is, if you leave them where they are kinda flowing with the budget, because you're already talking about public works.
Yep, yep.
So I can see the
Yeah.
value of either, I just,
So, they're gonna, so we're gonna spend 118, plus we're gonna spend the 150?
that's what's in there right at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Plus,
That's logical.
plus, you have 150 in that 461,000.
I got another 150 already in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So if those three components pass, are we finishing the Stone Mills Road?
Nope,
No.
not even half of it.
That's what, so then it's a question of how much we dip.
Correct.
Okay. All right, I don't have a problem with this then.
Nope, I don't either.
This is kind of the bare minimum,
Yep, yep,
okay? And they're all flowing on the same topic.
yeah, I
basically.
like that.
And this, we're fairly sure won't raise taxes.
Correct.
And it won't,
Yeah, from the sheet we
and it
did.
won't bite too hard into your fund
No.
balance.
No, because this is,
So ain't biting into it at all.
yeah, it hasn't really changed anything, because
The
the
150,
150 is part of that balance, but we can't use it until they let us
Right.
use it, which we're now asking permission to do, so. So, cause if we were looking at fund balance, we would take those reserve accounts out.
okay, so do you have the short report right there?
I do.
Okay, so Levi and I were talking about two different numbers. He was talking about total fund balance, and I was talking about undesignated fund balance. And
Okay.
turns out that when I was looking at the numbers, we're within
Okay, that's the one where,
$300,000.
yeah.
That's
so
where we were a couple hundred
He was
thousand
9,
away.
you were 8, where did we
Yeah,
come
yeah,
in?
yeah.
We came in at closer to 8,
Okay, alright, so kind of split the difference.
175, 851
Okay,
is what it went down.
yeah, that was the one where we were adding
Yeah.
$500,000 from
Twice.
the previous year. Yeah, and we had done that in the book.
You didn't, no, you didn't.
Oh, we didn't?
Somebody, when Sarah copied me a copy of that, she copied a draft and not the.
Oh, so it didn't happen?
It did not happen.
Oh, that's full of good news.
Well, yeah, I was like, I was sitting there going, I
You know, like,
really,
oh,
I
it's
really
really
screwed.
sweat.
My
I
legacy.
really screwed that up. No, it didn't actually happen.
Dodged a bullet.
I
Okay,
did- I
well,
did
that's
screw it
good.
up and found it before I ever
Well, that's,
published it.
that's good. All right, so we know where we stand there.
So yeah, so you're 175 down in terms of fund balance, undesignated fund balance. And you're still looking to take out this 150.
And we really haven't raised any taxes yet, relatively speaking, compared to the previous year.
Right. Relatively speaking, we have not. It's if you want more that you would.
Yeah, you're either gonna raise taxes or you're gonna lower your fund
Balance.
balance. Yeah. Can we go to 32? So, can't we use the Legion funds for that $800?
It's the monument lot reserve.
Okay,
That
we're-
is-
The
that's,
Legion, the Legion is in there. What I couldn't remember is if you also wanted to use the monument lot reserve for the recreation, and when
Yes.
you had recreation reserves already
We have
in a
regulations.
separate pot.
how much, what do we have for recreation reserves?
It was 9,000
Wow.
something, yeah. So we could take it,
So we should use that?
we could use that all up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, that's
And that would
another
have
bucket.
almost wipe it out.
Yeah,
That would
good.
be-
And then you're dealing with the Legion fund after that, for
Yep.
both sources.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got it on the treasurer's report here. But yeah. So that's why we had it highlighted.
How much
Yep.
is in there?
Okay.
It's 9,000.
We're gonna do that, why don't we just redo the Rex budget to the 9,000?
Well, that's
That's what I
what, that's
think
what I
it-
thought when
yeah,
I
it's
looked at it.
empty
You
it.
could-
Just
Yeah.
give them
Yeah.
the 9,000.
Yeah.
Give it all,
And
Yeah.
all
let
empty it.
them
Yeah.
do all their capital
Yeah.
improvements
Yeah.
and whatever that big.
and it's, and again, it's not gonna raise taxes,
No,
it's been
no.
held in reserve all this time, they're gonna shingle some roofs, they're gonna
Right.
get
Yeah,
the,
let's-
yeah.
I'll
So
take
whatever
the full
that
amount,
number
the nine-
is.
Yep.
It's 9,000 and something.
Yeah, what, 9 and change?
Yeah, clean it
Empty
up.
the reserve,
Yeah,
and then we'll pull from the Legion going forward as needed.
Yeah.
that's good.
Yes, it's $9,234.
Oh, perfect.
I wanted to
Perfect.
find it.
I like that better.
Okay.
Okay. Cemeteries, that's straightforward, isn't it? 36, I didn't think it was Burnham. For some reason, I thought it was like Willimantic. Wellington? I thought it was a W.
I know, that's what Bridie said. I texted Chad and he said it was Burnham.
Okay, Chad would know.
That's why I said, I said, wait a minute.
Well, this
He may
is,
have
He said
changed.
Wellington and
I would like to have a
Willimantic and-
conversation about that, because Burnham is not in our mutual aid, and I believe
That's a good
Wellington
point.
is. So, when he came and talked to us, he said Wellington. And I would think
And
that if
we're
we're gonna
feeling
donate,
fuzzy
we
about
ought to
that.
donate it,
Well,
if possible.
I'm the devil's advocate. The community that donated to us was in a
No.
totally different state.
100%.
Connecticut.
So,
I would, but I just think it's better to give within your own if Wellington don't need it, then I'm okay to go to
I would
Burnham.
say, my guess is they maybe, but I agree with you. If we could do it locally, it makes more sense to do it locally.
Yep.
I'll just double check.
There's actually a
with
chance
Chad.
that, or more of a chance that a Sangerville resident might benefit from this.
Right,
Correct.
right.
So
It
Cambridge or
behooves us to have
Wellington.
as many.
Charleston,
mutual
whatever.
aid,
Yeah,
And they all are well
Yep.
equipped,
Yep,
cause then we benefit.
but you don't wanna hold this warrant up to that, do you?
no, but a phone call's all it takes, that's easy.
Yeah, I'll talk to Chad tomorrow.
Okay, but, so we're not signing this tonight?
I can come in tomorrow and sign.
Okay. Do you wanna call him right now? Take a recess? I mean, he's probably not even home yet.
Is it?
Just
No,
send
he's
him-
not, he's just getting out of work.
Oh.
Well, if he's just getting out of work, and Calling
You
on
can
all
sit in
right.
the car.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll just keep going and then.
yep, let's keep going, let's just circle and.
Okay. I knew that wasn't the town, I just, okay. Town-owned property, that's nothing different there, right? Yeah, accept donations, that's,
Do you wanna leave that 5? I mean, I'm only thinking back to the contingency and everything else, that's been 5,000 forever.
yeah, I would go to 10 if they'd let us do it. I mean, they can lower it.
Let's do 10.
1 to 10?
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Did you ask my wife if she was gonna do this?
No,
Okay,
I will ask
I
her.
didn't ask her yet
you
either,
didn't
but we can
either?
put anybody's
Oh.
name in there.
I think we did Sarah last year just because Sarah was in the office. And we didn't have to drag Terry down.
Right.
Down to
Right.
the office.
But,
Can you ask him to take a call? We just call him, put him on speaker.
I don't have a problem with that, but he just, we should let him know, but,
Oh, 100%.
yep. So, I mean, I haven't asked her, so if Sarah would do it, that's fine, maybe Kenny, I don't know what you got. But if you need her,
I've
I will
gotta
ask
test
her.
it. Sarah has to notarize it, maybe I can get Bridie Armstrong to do it.
Oh, there you go.
Bridie's been helping a lot.
Yeah, I think probably, you can take a phone call, so I'll call him. Here we go. Hi Chad,
Hey, Lorna.
can you hear me? You're on speaker.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're also in a meeting on tape.
Oh, perfect.
Thanks for calling us. We're dealing with the donated, equipment, and, you've decided to go to Burnham with it.
Yeah, yep.
Dale had voiced a concern about that.
The only question was, when you said something to us, who was talking possibly over Wellington Way, I was just curious, is that no longer an option? We were just going with the theory that if it stayed more within our mutual aid, there's a possibility it would still be able to benefit the town or the community.
Well, I think that Wellington has, JAWS. The only reason that I didn't go over there is because their call volume is so minimal and Burnham is so high. After talking with a few different fire departments around, there's very few fire departments that don't at least have a set on their truck. Burnham doesn't, and they rely on surrounding towns to help them. They've had 5 calls this year where they've had to call for mutual aid for cutting people out of a car. This,
Okay.
and they're real small town. They have a real low budget, so.
And honestly, there are residents in our town that work there.
Oh, okay.
Travel.
All right.
We had quite a few people work over that way for
Yeah.
Pride.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Good, there you go.
So.
Okay,
yeah, I'm
okay,
okay
we're
with
good.
it.
Thank
I
you
just
very much for
wanted
calling.
clarity, that was all, Chad.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you Chad.
All right, thanks.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
So 36 is good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And we'll
So now
change
we're done
that
again.
37 to 10. Okay,
Yep.
all right.
so,
Just kinda need a projection to where it's at, see if you wanna take any more.
yeah, now we gotta decide, are we gonna take any more? And if so, how much more? And then that would be another article.
Correct.
Is it fair to say that what we've got here right now is pretty much the same mill rate as last year?
When I ran it, what we don't know is what valuation is going to be.
Which, if it goes up, does that help us or hurt us?
If it goes up, it could hurt us.
Because we have to pay more, but it would seem like everybody would go up.
But we didn't, that's the, remember, we
didn't
ran into
much.
this.
Yeah, we didn't go
No.
much, it wasn't.
No, but it wasn't, there wasn't a year or two ago we did? It was one year we did change.
Oh, it changes every
Hmm.
year, and it went up last year, it didn't hit as hard last year, so I'm not sure.
But if like real estate values,
Yeah.
cause we know like around the pond, everything's a lot more valuable than what the tax card says, but that's probably true in Parkman too.
I would think Guilford, Parkman, I mean, Guilford's
Yeah.
got a lot of waterfront, they
Yeah.
should be in real estate selling over there as much as here. I would think that everybody ought to be close that
I mean,
way.
Parkman's problem was an infrastructure thing, they had to deal with, a power cord.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we haven't dealt with anything like that.
No, and I think there's other towns within the district that are private, but it's building up the infrastructure, is putting in some solars. So that may benefit us a little bit, because we're not,
Good, yeah.
because they are gonna go up.
I just don't know until we get the numbers. The numbers as they stand right now, it's the same, you know, we didn't change.
It's as well as we're gonna do that for right now.
Mm-hmm.
How much, how much money do we need to finish the Sills Mills Road? In addition to what this budget represents?
Cause like,
So you've got 420,000 represented in these pages.
That's 700.
and it was 400, rough estimate was, say 500.
For Silver's Mills.
Yeah.
Well, it's only-
490, yeah.
It was more than that, because it was 700 between the two, wasn't it?
I mean,
It was
between
under-
in town,
Yeah, it was 100 for in town.
Yeah, it was 100 for in town and 490 was rough, that was just rough.
I really think your best hope is you're gonna get ground and based.
You know what?
I don't-
you don't think we're gonna be able to do the whole project in one
I
year?
think if we could get it grounded and based. coat.
That would be nice, though.
That would be
I mean,
nice.
That would be.
That would be huge. Cause that's still, I mean, it's a good stretch. You wanna shoot for another 100?
Well, where's the priority, I feel like the priority is Silver's Mills over in town.
Correct.
I mean, that road now is a disaster. Because part of the process of getting it ready, created,
But even the rest of the, I mean, yes, but the rest of the road is not good.
no, that's right.
Oh, I agree with you, but
But the in-town has been ignored for a long, long time. So, I mean, like,
what I'm concerned about was even with the numbers that we have as a rough, we're at 420, if you ask for another 100, and then prices go up.
I was gonna say, prices have already gone up.
So even with the 500 number, with another 100, that might guarantee us to get the grind and the base done. You may have some left over to do some in town.
well, it's funny, you're really talking about inflation, and maybe we should spend as much money as we dare to spend this year, because next year we're gonna get less payment for the same amount of money.
What did the barrel of oil today was what?
Yeah, it was
119?
Yeah, we could be $200 a barrel by next year.
A couple years ago, they were giving it away.
And we could look back and say, my God, we could've done
Why
that whole road
didn't
for
we
another
spend that
150,
money?
now it's 300.
Right, right.
Cause I don't think it's gonna get, well, you don't know. I mean, it's possible that we could be in a position a year from now where we say, oh, wow, we could've got a lot more paving done, but I doubt
I
it.
doubt it.
And the other thing we know for sure is our cash isn't going up in value. It's going backwards.
Right.
I have a problem with asking for the full thing, and if they're either gonna say no, or yes, or half, but, cause I think it's a prudent thing to get it done, we have to do it. And it's not gonna be any cheaper probably than this year.
My inclination is to do Silver's Mills and finish it, as opposed to doing Silver's Mills, leaving that, cause they have to come back.
I agree.
And doing part of in town, and it's nice to start something and finish it.
I don't have a problem with delaying in town to next year.
Right.
If we wanna pull back at all, I think that's probably, like Jody said, finish that project.
I just think you're looking at asking for at least another 2.
And we've been asking for 150 every summer, for the last 3 summers.
Fully agree, but you already pulled.
And we asked for 150, we really needed 190. We spent 190.
Right.
So if we do another 2, that's pretty consistent.
Right, but you already pulled 2.
Yeah,
You pulled 4.
it's a lot of asphalt.
I'm okay to ask, I just, you ask for 2 and you get knocked down to 1.
Yep. I think we should ask, because I do think we're probably gonna get the most bang for our buck this year.
So,
Knowing that we're probably gonna pay a lot more in '23. If they don't wanna pave it, that's fine, we'll deal with it, but at least we tried.
So you wanna put it right in with all the other ones?
so you wanna put it on the Article 30,
No?
or,
Oh, wait a minute, yes, you're probably
Yeah.
right, sorry,
I
Laura.
think she's
that's
right.
okay.
Wherever, right behind the last one you already had.
Well,
Whatever that
150 is
is.
the last one.
The
Yep.
one right here, do you wanna add it to that 150, or do you wanna,
Yeah, why wouldn't you add it right there?
Yep,
so make it,
Yep.
we're gonna make it what, 300?
350.
350.
350, alright.
Alright, so if you're gonna do that, you gotta get hold of the budget committee before you can have the budget committee approved.
yep,
Which can only be, all Rick said was a phone call.
yeah, in fact, you wanna try, Rick?
Oh, I gotta get his phone number.
Can we take a recess?
4928.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
take a recess.
Alright, it's 10 after 5, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back, hopefully, we'll talk to Rick. Okay, it's 6:35, and we're gonna I make a motion, we come back into session.
Okay.
There we are, we're back in.
535.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not even dark out. It's 5:35. And we did have a conversation with Rick about the reserve amount, and we shuffled some numbers around too. So let's walk through that. I think we're looking at taking the federal money, what did we?
ARPA money.
And use that for asphalt, reduce.
So we don't lose it.
Yeah, we have to spend it in the year that we receive it, which is.
No, it has to be spent by 2026.
You have to-
Oh, okay.
You have to have a plan for it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so,
So we have a plan for it, to pave roads with it, which reduces the amount that we need to take from contingency to finish the Silver's Mills Road, to approximately what, 220?
yeah, that's a round number.
So that's gonna be our ask amount, and that number is supported by the select board and the budget committee.
So that would be Article 30, 220.
220.
And did we decide on the ARPA money, are we gonna separate the 2 tranches?
I would, the more we talk, I think 21, clean that verbiage up, and that's the money that we've already received. And then I would just do Article 22 and verbiage that as what's coming in, and still allocating it towards paving. I think we kept it cleaner, then that way there you don't have to worry about the paperwork that needs to be done to comply.
Well, plus, you guys both listened today on
Right,
having a separate article for each component would be,
Yes, that's
Optimal.
what I would do.
And you
Yeah.
have to, yeah.
Yes, they
And
said
you
it has
have
to,
it.
there has to be a separate article and for those monies. And so I would have one article for the money that we've received and use the terminology first tranche and second tranche, because
Yep.
that's what they're using. in the
Perfect.
government. And then we might as well, since then we wouldn't have to have a special when the second tranche came in,
Right,
We can make that Article 22.
and say that it's, right,
yeah. It's revenue coming in from this
Right,
program, and
right,
this is what we wanna
right.
spend.
And it's guaranteed revenue, it's
Yes.
coming in,
Okay.
but we don't have it yet, and to
Well,
have
at the end
them
of the day,
go-
if something happens and it doesn't come in, you're not spending it.
Right.
You don't have it.
Right, right.
but it's coming in.
Right.
I mean, it's a
They were
huge
very-
federal program.
They were
It's-
very prompt about it.
Yeah.
Yes, and
It's coming.
Oh, it's definitely, it'll be here.
Yeah,
Okay. This is relatively small potatoes, but we did get, I think it was 17,000 back from the library.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Do we wanna incorporate that in this somewhere? I mean, that's money that taxpayers raised, they gave it to the library
to the general
returned it, that's, do we wanna lower, I guess, do we wanna lower our ask, or do we just leave it? I mean,
It's in your general fund,
yep,
so you,
It's in the general fund, yeah.
I mean, it's,
Right, but it's in this year's general fund. So it's not part, it's 17,000 that you're not talking about.
it's true. We're not.
yeah, we're $17,000 better than what we told, yeah, so I mean, I guess it's there. I mean, you could you could put it in
Well, that's what I was
Article
thinking.
22, $17,000 from the library, unused,
revenue.
unused, yeah.
Yeah, why couldn't we do that?
That is exactly what I was.
Why wouldn't we do that? We're gonna lower taxes by 17 grand.
Yeah. Refund from the library.
Yeah,
You classify a refund as revenue.
How'd you classify it when you took the money in?
I put it in the general fund miscellaneous.
But it actually said, right, it said as a refund.
That's right.
you said unused funds.
Unused
Yeah,
funds.
And it goes right
Unused.
into the,
Yeah.
It would be no different than if Roundy said, whoops, we charged too much, here's 10 grand. Like that could ever happen. But same idea.
I like the world you're living in.
If
Very
you
optimistic.
added it to that line, it's another 17 grand.
Yeah.
It could come
Yeah.
help reduce the mill rate.
Yep.
Yep,
all right,
That everybody's already paid tax.
and they already spent
Yeah.
that, they already agreed to spend that money over
That's
the
a
last
better
2 years.
idea.
That was 2 years worth of returns, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't just 1 year. That was, they calculated what they didn't spend 2 years ago and what they didn't spend last year, and they bundled them together.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that idea.
That's
okay,
great.
I'll put it in the,
Okay, so this is getting more and more attractive. Now we're almost down to just 2 instead of 220.
Yeah. It's true.
No, wait a minute, we said two different
So
things.
we said 250. Didn't we have?
Well, I mean, if we
Yeah.
use this, depending on how you utilize it. but
we
yeah.
got 220, right,
Oh.
on that article line.
Is it 220? Oh,
Yes.
220, okay. Yeah, I heard that's one. Okay.
Anything else?
Nope. Unless you remember another pot of gold somewhere we could.
I
Ravage.
can't think of another 17 grand this time around. Okay, are we done with this? Item 5, on to new business?
Oh, one thing, so Brady suggested to leave this flow sheet out, which I agree wholeheartedly, so that's good.
Okay.
So we're gonna take that out.
Okay,
And we'll just leave our message.
okay.
And the only thing
I
was
gotta
the
fix-
correction,
Yes, and I'll fix that so you guys can sign
97
it.
years
Yeah.
instead of 98 years.
So what about, I can't remember where we ended up with this, under general admin, we talked about taking the 2,000 out of the reserve. So we don't have it as an article, so we're not doing that.
What is that? Oh,
We need to, probably need to write that in there.
If we're gonna do that, it needs to be a, needs to be a warrant article.
Yeah.
Remember the $2,000 for the
Or
office?
the office equipment
Oh.
Oh,
that's
yes,
coming out of the reserve?
oh, yes, oh, yes,
That's what we agreed on, yep.
okay, so there's gonna be a
really,
warrant.
you
Okay.
appropriate, the 242, raise and appropriate, and then, you just need a line that says you want to take 2,000 from the
Okay,
office equipment reserve.
all right, so I'm gonna do that, put it in reserve, all right, thank you.
And then you do it, would you total, you don't total it, because it's not coming out of the budget.
Not coming up, yeah, you're not
Do
raising.
your own,
Yeah, but don't you still have to leave it under your general, because if, well, it's up to you, because if you do it that way, if you reduce your general, and only add it as taking it out of reserve, if they don't let you take it out of reserve, you're not getting it.
right.
If you leave it in your budget,
It's not, I don't believe it's in that 242. So you really need a capital outlay article that says,
Okay,
well, that's number one, it should be in the budget, it should be in 242. And you're just using this to offset taxation.
Shouldn't be in your budget,
It's not in my budget.
Okay, then if they don't approve taking it out of reserve, then you're not getting
and you're
it.
not getting it, exactly,
Correct.
exactly. Do you wanna pad them, do you wanna put 2 in your budget?
I think we ask them to take it out of reserve, that's what the reserve's there for. They don't wanna spend it, they don't spend it. You'll still have the reserve next year.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so that's gonna go in reserve.
Okay, is there anything else like that that we're forgetting?
We did animal control, we did parks and rec.
Right, yeah,
Everything else is there.
everything else.
Cleaning things up a little.
We're gonna leave school and,
How much is in that office equipment reserve? Do we-
3,500, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alright. So that's gonna go on to capital.
The only thing I can think of is that in this revenue sharing, not revenue sharing, this Article 22, we have money left over, we raised for education that we didn't spend because the school cut.
$49, right?
Oh, $49 was from the smart fund that you're gonna have, you should probably put in there, but 9,200 and something from,
Yeah, but they don't have to vote on it, you have to do that.
no, it just goes in this revenue that you have.
Oh, it goes into that line, but you don't even want it in there because you're asking them to vote on that. They can't vote on it,
No, it's,
so it doesn't need to be there. Or I don't know how you do that because they can't say no.
no, we can't say no, it has to be spent that way.
It has to be spent that, they've already approved to spend it that way. It didn't happen last year, but the way the rule works, you approved it last year, so you gotta spend it this year.
And you will, because you'll,
No, but I mean, they can't vote on it again because it's already been approved to spend it. And you can't put that money back into general, it has to carry forward into the following year. So I don't see how.
it just has to go into your calculation, I guess.
Correct,
Because
but
you're
it's
not
not a
gonna raise-
votable.
It's gonna
item.
reduce your following year.
It's gonna reduce, yeah, you have to use that money
Yeah.
to reduce this year's school numbers.
And you don't vote on school numbers in.
And you don't vote on- in this anyway.
No.
So, okay.
So it should self-adjust.
So it should be all right.
Yep.
It just, well, it has to be, you just have to keep track of it through Trio to make sure that that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
It's in the short report, it's in, you just have to release it so that it actually gets spent.
Correct. That's, yeah, it's a bookkeeping issue.
It is. Pain in the butt issue, but I guess it's better than
Yeah, at least it's a
too much.
positive cash flow.
It is, it's going in the right direction.
Okay. Moving on, new business?
Good night, folks.
Thank you, Bridie.
Thank you, thank you.
97, alright, that's it. Okay.
Do we have anything on the new business?
No, I don't think so.
Item 7, town managers report.
Yeah, on Friday, the 30-day lien notices will be going out, 122 of them.
Well, how's that compared to previous years?
Actually, it's lower,
Okay.
yeah.
I
it's lower,
thought it
so,
might be, but,
yeah,
yeah.
Probably like 20.
Okay, not huge, but,
No,
Oh,
I
it's
think we
different.
usually bounce around 150-ish.
Yeah, so,
okay.
and all the roads are posted.
Yeah, yeah.
How many, do you have an idea how many are in the third year?
Third year,
For lien notices?
Lien notices?
all the majority of the people,
Really?
Is that,
it's the same people. It's the same people every year.
So the 122 of the 3 years too?
The majority,
Oh, no, the 2 years, 2 years. We're down to.
third year is the year you gotta clean it up.
Third year you pay to lose it.
You pay
Correct.
to lose it.
So I just wondered, of the 122 that you're sending out,
Are
how many
they
of
the
those are
second?
stage 3?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Cancer.
there's several.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably 20.
Okay.
20,
Yeah,
25,
and
yeah.
it's just,
Wow.
it's probably roughly, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I was just
Same
curious.
one, Yeah.
Anything else on that?
No.
Okay. Road commissioners report? Roads are posted.
Roads are all posted.
Anything else?
No.
Did you want an executive session?
Yes.
Make a motion that we go into executive session, 1 MRSA 4056A. A is a designation for personnel.
Second.
It's 10 minutes of 6. And we'll go into executive session. Okay, it's only been 2 minutes. We're coming back into session.
Can I take a break for a second?
Yep, we're coming back into session and there's no action taken on our executive session.
Okay.
Do we want to adjourn? Or is there something else? Oh. We have a letter. We got a letter from the Historical Society. I guess this was to Lorna. I think you could, yeah, she's, a number of questions about town meeting, with the date's been set, I would just
Answer the question.
answer the questions. I don't see anything here that involves us at this point. You guys wanna read it? Yep. Anything else?
No.
Motion adjourned.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned and it's